I have been trying to get something like this in my studio for a really long time, and I'm happy to say that I partnered with Jackery to show off the Explorer 5000 Plus. This thing is incredible. This is essentially a giant battery pack that you can interact with in different ways, whether it's charging or discharging. Lots of ways to do both, which is amazing. It makes this thing really, really versatile. And here in the studio, as you guys know, I 3D print a lot. I review 3D printers. Sometimes I do commission pieces where I can't afford a power outage, and being on the east coast of the United States, we do have a lot of power outages here, especially right now. We get these things that I call blips, where the power goes out for a second or two, and those are notorious for killing prints. And printers have gotten better at trying to figure out where they were and going back and trying to save a print. You can even reslice some prints sometimes, but you can almost always tell in some way, shape, or form. And if it's for a commission piece or something that you sell professionally, it's just not going to cut it. And something like this could really save you. So even if you're running 1 or 2 machines, or you have an entire print farm, something like this unit right here can be a total game changer. The cool other thing that this thing can do is you can charge this in lots of different ways. One, you can just charge this from a normal socket, or you can hook this up to your house or your studio, running completely off of the grid, charging that way, and then giving you this backup for when the power is out. You can also be completely off grid and charge this thing off solar power. And the Jackery sells solar panels itself. I have 2 of them to test today. Or you can even bring your own solar panels, and you might have some existing on your home, for example, or in an array, whatever it might be. This thing can get power that way. And if you're doing it that way, if you're using this with solar power, well, then you're getting literally free power. And then you combine it with a 3D printer, you could literally be making things completely from the sun. And that's incredible, and I love the off-grid aspect of it, and that's what I want to test today. There's definitely a lot of other features, and this thing packs a huge punch. 7,400 watts of power on this thing, around 5,400 watt hours of battery. This thing's crazy. The other part is there's a DC expansion port on the side, where it also lets you expand this with more battery packs. So if this wasn't enough power for your demanding setup, you can easily continue to upgrade this thing. And I love products, as you guys know, that have an upgrade path. You can just get this as a portable unit, or you can attach this to a much more elaborate system. It just depends on what you need. Today, what I want to do is I want to test this thing in a bunch of different scenarios with 3D printing, because that's what we do here. I want to see how much power a normal 3D printer that you might already own takes. I want to see how much power I can pull from this thing and for how long, with up to 4 different machines or more. And then I want to see if I can sustain 3D printing just from solar power. There has been a little bit of a thing going on where we have had rain pretty much every single day for like 2 weeks. So I am kind of battling that, but hoping to get a nice sunny day here that I can take this thing outside and show you guys what the panels can do, because that's basically just free power. You can even charge this thing from a car, from a 12-volt plug with an adapter that you can buy from Jackery. So if you're going on a really long road trip, or a truck, or an RV, whatever it might be, you can pop this thing somewhere inside, or somewhere secure, and charge this thing from your car's alternator while you're on that trip. And then whenever you get there, you have this incredible power bank to use. So that's not even all. Guys, use the link down below. It is an affiliate link that'll get you to the Jackery's website right to this. You can find all of the actual specs of this device. You can even find all the accessories. And also, there is going to be an exclusive 5% off coupon down below, which Jackery provided my audience, which is obviously fantastic. All right, let's get going on the tests, and I'll see you here in a second. Let's go. Alright guys, I got this thing pumping right now with 4 different machines on here, and it is just relaxing at this point. So with 4 machines running right now, we got 8.5 hours left, and it's at 78%. Let's see what we got going on. Right here we have the Cobra X printing a Flexi Shark, of course. We have the Spark X, or Sparks i7 by Creality, doing a fast benchy. Going to the very top of the stack, we got my Voron V0 printing out a Voron Cube. I actually haven't printed PLA on this. This has been an ABS machine, so I got a PLA print going on there for some testing. And of course we have the Prusa Core 1 Plus printing an all-important banana for scale, and it is looking absolutely beautiful so far. That's at 95%, and like I mentioned, this thing is just sipping. It's just sitting over here sipping power. You can see it's fluctuating between the upper 300s, and oh, there we go. We got a $500 watt spike. So that means that one of these things is heating a little bit more, whether their beds or hot ends or fans need to ramp up. So we're seeing some spikes. But there you can see an average of what, let's say upper 300s on average, and we're just steady at about 8-ish hours. It's going between 8.5 and 8 on average, and we started at right around 80 something percent, like mid 80s. So we're at 78, and yeah, it's just cruising. I can imagine if I had the solar panels plugged into this thing and them sitting outside right now, this would be significantly longer. So yeah, quite the safety net if you have a bunch of machines doing some important jobs. Maybe for a customer or a client, or just something important project you need a deadline for, and you know there's a storm coming. For that particular situation, this could really save you. And this doesn't even have the battery packs that you can expand this with. This is just the single Explorer 5000 Plus. Pretty cool. Well, time to show off the main trick of this thing. So right now I just plugged this thing into a socket. So as you can see, there's now an input. You can see how many watts it's pulling from the wall, how many it's using over here. So it's definitely pulling more than it's using, obviously. And it says here it's going to take about 1.6-ish hours to go ahead and charge it while all 4 of these machines are printing. So if you still have power, you could charge this thing up. And if the power ever goes out, check this out. I'm going to do this one-handed, but I'm going to unplug this to simulate a power outage. Just kidding. Anyway, everything is still running. As you can see, we got this thing going, Prusa's going, Voron's going. We're down to 77%. You can see we're no longer pulling anything from the wall here, and we're still at around 8 hours. Pretty cool feature. Alright, as the Voron V0 here finishes its cube, I can say that we have printed this, and this, and this, all on battery power on this Jackery unit. And if you use solar to charge this thing, which is how I plan on using it, you are not using any power for these 3D prints, and they're completely off-grid if you do not have them hooked up to the internet. So after all of that, we still have 75% left on the battery, and as you can see, the V0 is a sipper. I mean, it can go for 20 hours at this rate, right? Printing PLA at extremely fast speeds. Obviously, you can choose different machines that are more appropriate for what you're working on and the amount of power that they pull. But Prusa, Anycubic, Creality, and Voron doing their thing. Tried to give you some variety here, and yeah, doing great. This one's printing at 200% speed just so I can get this thing finished. We got the side fan blasting. Not really a PLA machine at all, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. I think it's probably time to test some panels. Gotta wait till the rain's over. Oh, there we go. Shoo! That's an off-grid battery-powered Voron cube. Kind of cool. Alright, well, the sun finally came out, so we're outside. I know, it's wild. there's still some clouds and the sun is over that way. It's not overhead yet. So this is not even the most that these panels can get from the sun. We have a Chitty-Tech Q2C over here with the Chitty box. They both need their own power, so that's why you see two plugs. Both these panels are currently plugged into the side of the unit, and according to the screen, they're currently producing around 146, and the printer is demanding about 165. So they're fluctuating because the sun is literally in and out of clouds, but the most I've seen so far is a little over 600 from the panels, and the printer hasn't been very demanding. It's currently doing a bed leveling, so the bed is already hot. I'm gonna start a print, and we'll come back in a few seconds when this thing's actually melting plastic, just to see if it can sustain. Let's go. All right, here we go. The machine is finally cooking, and well, so is the sun. It's right about to come out of the clouds. Even in the clouds, we're getting 420 from the panels now. That's a little bit lighter. The machine is still using just under 200 while printing, while all the fans are on. So we are already charging this and printing completely solar power. Let me grab the camera, show you the POV. Let's go. All right, so it is a little bit chilly outside. It's actually in the mid to upper 20s. So it's pretty good. That's in Fahrenheit. So there you go. Now that the sun is fully out, the panels are getting around 660 watts. And it says it'll charge this thing in 0.3 hours. And then the machine is going between around 300, maybe mid 300 to around 200 when the bed doesn't need to be heated continuously. So we're getting about twice the amount of power that the printer is demanding. So we are completely printing off grid. That's amazing. So if you have two of these panels and you're getting some decent sunlight, you can quite literally run one or two of these things completely off of solar. Pretty incredible stuff. All right, just for science, I left one panel on just to see how much we're getting when the sun is full. Looks like we're at about 300, middle of 300 watts in and about 300 watts out. It's saying between 99 and 73 hours that this thing could be printing just on one panel with the JACKERY EXPLORER 5000 Plus. Epic. And a few minutes later, we're done. Let's see. This is our 100% solar benchy, completely powered by the sun and printed in what, 13 to 14 minutes on the Chitty-Tech Q2C. Pretty amazing for something that didn't require any power from the grid. Essentially completely free in terms of power. Cool. All right, well, back to the desk we go. Let's roll. Okay, that was a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the testing there and the showcase. Now, there are two things that you need to consider before making this purchase. One is this is a premium product. This is not aimed to be a super budget thing. Check out the pricing, check out the specs, and you guys decide whether that's correct or right for you. The other thing is you gotta know that this thing is super heavy. It's between 120 and 130 pounds. I have it here on my table. Yes, getting it up on this table is a chore. There is a bottom handle on the bottom. There's two handles up top. There's large wheels in the back and casters that you can stop on the bottom. There's also an expandable handle so you can wheel this thing around. Luckily, because this thing is definitely heavy. You're not just going to be carrying this around freely. This is definitely meant to be something that sits somewhere. You can obviously wheel it around in an emergency or move it about, but it is heavy. Just know that. Just like I prepare you guys when there's a really heavy machine or something large or an awkward shape, this is one of those things. It's heavy, it's huge. Here's a banana for scale if you haven't noticed. It's just a big battery pack. Guys, this was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like what I do here, feel free to pop on to 3dprintsos.com, grab yourself some really fun merch. You can also join our Patreon or become a YouTube member to see videos just like this one early, or obviously all the 3D print stuff that we have going on here. Guys, thank you all for your continued support. And as always, I'll see you down in the comments. Later.